Hey everyone, this is Theo from parkerblocks.com. Today I want to show you some of the red paints in my watercolor collection. Of the three primary colors, I have the most number of reds. So for yellow, I have lemon yellow, Hansa yellow, new gamboge, and maybe yellow ochre. For blue, I have phthalo blue, French ultramarine, and cerulean blue. But for reds, well, I have, as you can see, a lot of them. But I only use a few, namely Quinacridone magenta, Quinacridone red, and transparent Pyro orange. I do not memorize the characteristics of each red color, so if you were to ask me about any specific red color, it would be very difficult for me to explain that color to you, but I can do so for the yellows and the blues that I use, but not for reds. So in today's video, I'm going to paint out some color swatches to explore the colors and also help me understand these red colors a bit more and see what their differences are. Let me name all the colors that I'm going to swatch out today. These three colors are from Mission Gold brand: Permanent Red, Permanent Rose, Rose Madder, and most of these are Daniel Smith Organic Vermilion, Perlin Red, Quinacridone Magenta, Quinacridone Rose, Permanent Alizarin Crimson, Pyro Scarlet, Transparent Pyro Orange, Quinacridone Red. This is Winsor & Newton Scarlet Lake, and this is Shinhan Permanent Red. I have drawn some boxes in advance so that I can paint them with colors, and on this page I drew the boxes by mistake. There should be just 6 boxes, but I drew 12. It should be something like this. Anyway, I can still use this, so let's get started. The first color that I'm going to use is Daniel Smith Transparent Pyro Orange. Painting color swatches is going to take a long time, so I'm going to fast forward this part of the video here so that you don't have to watch paint dry. Now that the colors have dried quite nicely, let's take a closer look at them. There are several similar colors. For example, Scarlet Lake PR188. This looks quite similar to Pyro Scarlet PR255, and this looks quite similar to Organic Vermilion PR188. And these two, Winsor & Newton Scarlet Lake PR188 and Daniel Smith Organic Vermilion PR188, they are using the same pigment and they look, I would say that they are similar, just that they have different names. And these three colors, they are quite close to Transparent Pyro Orange as well, but Transparent Pyro Orange PO71, it's a bit warmer compared to these three. So if you are going to get just one color out of these three, you can probably get any one. My favorite is this Transparent Pyro Orange. Now the other similar colors would be Quinacridone Red, Quinacridone Rose. They both use PV19, which is interesting. I had to double check the pigment information on the tubes, and they are using the same pigments, just that Quinacridone Red, it's more on the reddish side, and Quinacridone Rose is more on the pink side. But if you dilute the paints, you can get almost the same color. The other color that is quite similar to these two would be Mission Gold's Rose Madder PR176. Let's look at Permanent Alizarin Crimson PR177. This is from Daniel Smith, and this Perlin Red, also from Daniel Smith. This is PR178. They look quite similar. I would say that the color here with Permanent Alizarin Crimson, it's a bit more reddish compared to Perlin Red, but the difference again is very subtle. You may actually have to look at them in real life rather than watching this video to appreciate the difference. But I would definitely recommend you get one but not both because they are so similar. The last two colors that I want to talk about are Mission Gold Permanent Red PR112 and Daniel Smith Quinacridone Magenta PR202. Mission Gold's Permanent Red, it looks a bit dulled down compared to all the other reds that I have. it is not as vibrant. I'm not sure if it's because of the sample that I'm using. I'm only left with this much of permanent red of Mission Gold. So maybe the sample is a bit contaminated, that's why the red, it looks a bit dulled down. The other interesting color that I have is Quinacridone Magenta. I guess this should not be considered a red because it is very different compared to all the other reds that I have. This is more towards the violet side. And straight away I can tell that if I'm going to mix a blue, a warm blue to this, I'm going to get a very beautiful purple. In fact, let's try and mix some secondary colors with all the reds that I have. I almost forgot to mention Shinhan's version of permanent red. So you see these two colors, they have the same name, they are both permanent red, but they look very different from each other. And Shinhan's permanent red looks quite similar to Perlin red, permanent Alizarin crimson, and Scarlet Lake. I'll say that this color is somewhere in between these three colors. You may have heard of a color mixing theory, which says that you can mix any other colors that you want from primary colors, and red is one of the primary colors. Some may argue that magenta is the true primary color and not red, but I'm not going to do the magenta versus red discussion today. I just want to show you some secondary color mixes that you can get from the reds. So right now I'm going to mix some oranges and also some purples. And to mix those colors, I'm going to choose one color from each group. So for the warm reds, I'm going to choose Organic Vermilion. And for the cool reds, I'm going to choose Quinacridone Rose. And for this, I would say middle red, I will choose Perlin red. I also want to use Quinacridone Magenta because it looks so different compared to all the other reds. I'm going to mix orange with Hansa Yellow Medium and also New Gamboge to see the differences. If I just use New Gamboge, it would be so easy to mix a bright orange. So I want to see if I can get a bright and vibrant orange with Hansa Yellow Medium as well. And for the purple, I'm going to use French Ultramarine. Alright, I'm going to fast forward the painting section. I have just finished mixing. The swatches at the top, they were mixed with Hansa Yellow Medium, and the swatches at the bottom, they were mixed with New Gamboge. And at a glance, I can tell that New Gamboge, it's a better color when it comes to mixing orange. You can get a more vibrant orange just by starting with an orange. So the most vibrant orange here is actually from Organic Vermilion, which is not surprising because this is a warm red. These two are also quite nice. These two are from Quinacridone Rose. With Perlin red, it's a bit dulled down, and with Quinacridone Magenta, you can see that the orange here is really dull compared to this 6. Earlier in the video, I said that Perlin red, it looks quite similar to permanent Alizarin crimson, and these are the mixtures that I created. So when I look at it, I can tell straight away that the oranges here, they are less vibrant compared to Perlin red, and the purple here, it's more vibrant compared to Perlin red. Here it's very dulled down, very neutralized. And also Quinacridone Rose, it looks quite similar to Quinacridone Red, so I went ahead to paint some swatches as well. So this is how they compare. I would say that they actually look quite similar, except for Quinacridone Rose, you can get a nicer and beautiful purple. And now let's take a look at all the purples and the violets. So with a warm red and ultramarine, a warm blue, you get a very neutralized purple. This is definitely not as vibrant compared to this, which is mixed with Quinacridone Rose. This is a very beautiful shade of purple. And Perlin red, when mixed with ultramarine, you get something like this. So Perlin red is considered a warm red, I guess. and Quinacridone Magenta mixed with Ultramarine, you get something like this. Surprisingly, it's not as vibrant compared to Quinacridone Rose. So the best color for painting purples would be Quinacridone Rose, out of all the colors that I have, of course. And let's take a look at some of the purples here. So Alizarin Crimson with Ultramarine, it looks like this, a bit dialed down as well. Ultramarine with Quinacridone Red can give you a nice purple, but not as nice as this. I find it quite interesting that here with Quinacridone Rose, French Ultramarine has more granulation than when mixed with Quinacridone Red. So if you want granulation, you can choose Quinacridone Rose. And if you do not want so much granulation, you can use Quinacridone Red to mix with Ultramarine. So what have I learned from this color mixing session? Well, some of these reds, they look quite similar, so there's no need to include so many reds in your palette. If I can only choose one warm red and one cool red, right now after looking at the colors that I have, I would pick transparent Pyro Orange as my warm red and either Quinacridone Red or Quinacridone Rose as my cool red. If I prefer granulation, I will choose Quinacridone Rose. So these will be the two reds that I will include in my palette. But right now I'm actually using Quinacridone Red and Quinacridone Magenta as my reds. If I'm going to add another red, like if I'm going to have 3 reds in my palette, I'm not sure what else to add. Maybe either Perlin Red or Permanent Alizarin Crimson, because they look very different from all the other reds. One thing for sure is I don't think I'm going to continue to use Quinacridone Magenta after I finish using up the tube that I already have. Quinacridone Magenta has its use, but from the orange and the purple that I get, they are not as vibrant compared to other mixes. So I would definitely go with Quinacridone Rose and Transparent Pyro Orange in the future. With those two reds, I can mix very vibrant orange and very vibrant purples. So that's all for today's video. I hope this is helpful to you. It certainly is very helpful to me because I learned a lot. Now, if you want to check out the swatches in higher resolution, I will scan them and put them online. You just have to check out the link in the video description below. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!